Yes, a very lovely good morning, students. So today we are continuing with our chapter, Ruling the Countryside. So we have started this chapter. We have gotten brief idea, introduction of this chapter, that what is here we will read in this chapter. As we have studied in our previous chapter that Britishers came to India for trading, but they started ruling over the territory. So any of you can let me know about what we have discussed in our previous two classes. You may use chat box or raise your hand. That what idea you have got, that what we will read in this chapter, ruling the countryside. Yes, Akul, you can unmute yourself and please let us know what is the meaning of this chapter, ruling the countryside.
And ruling the countryside means ruling in the sides of means outskirts of India. How Britishers ruled in the outskirts in the sides of India.
Okay, Harman and Turanya has also written in chat box. Okay, yes, Harman. So it is Harman only. Yes, Harman.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, good morning, Uche. Yes, Harman.
Ma'am, ruling the countryside means that that the Britishers ruled on the sides of our country, on the borders of our country, so that they can take a proper hold
Okay,
over India.
very good. So as we are living in a city, okay, so countryside means the outer area of the city. So outer area means where the agriculture, mostly villages are there and agriculture is taking place. So ruling, who was ruling there? Britishers. Britishers, the East India Company, who has come for trade in India, but it has started ruling. And when it has started ruling, that you have read in previous chapter, when it started ruling, how it got the right to rule. First they came for trading. Yes, Ananya. Yes, they also got a farman from Aurangzeb to trade in India. Then they started slowly trading and they also fight with the Nawab of Bengal. They fight wars of battle of Buxar and Plassey. And then after the battle of Buxar, they got the various rights. Okay, very good. So you have given your views. Yes, Akul, Ananya. Yes. That they came for trade. They settled in India. They were trading various Indian spices, cotton. So that was available at a cheap rate in India. And they used to sell at a high price. So this thing you keep in mind, why they came in India and now they are in the path of ruling. They have not become the rulers. They have not become the rulers of at the places now. They have just started the ruling. So how they started the ruling? So let's have an idea. So So I hope it is visible to everyone. So countryside where the agriculture was being taken, it was being practiced. Farmer used to do agriculture here. So now company got the right to take Diwani of this area. What was Diwani? Diwani means to collect the taxes. The taxes, the land revenue. The land revenue taxes are the words clear. We have made it clear. The land revenue, that is a tax that is paid by the peasant. Okay, land revenue is a part of agriculture produce also. So that is a tax that a farmer paid to the, earlier he was paid to the king, and now they have to pay to the East India Company. So these are the tea, where the tea is being produced, the tea gardens. So this is the East India. He also asked the peasants to grow tea. Earlier we were not using the tea, but now Britishers, they have introduced the production of tea in India. So earlier they came from this Britain, United Kingdom, and now England. Okay, so they came from here to India for trade. Slowly they got the right to collect tax. Then the Mughal emperor in 1757, they won the battle and they got the Diwani of Bengal. So this is a picture which is showing that how the company, East India Company, got the Diwani of Bengal. So this is a picture has been prepared later on. So this was not the actual picture. It has just been prepared by a painter later on. After they have got the Diwani, it was being prepared later on. So Britishers, they have get prepared this picture to show the people that now we have got this right, and now we are going to collect this tax from you, because their main aim was, they have come for trade and their main aim was to get the profit. So they were concentrating on getting the profit only. The king, he remained to rule, but all the financial power they have got in their hand. They used to collect the taxes. Now they were collecting taxes but not spending on the people. Earlier the king was collecting taxes also and the spending on people also for the development, various type of things. But now only the Britishers, British officials which have got the right, they were just collecting the land revenue. Collecting the land revenue, then do the trade. That was his main motive. They were purchasing the things from India, okay, and then move back. So the East India Company, the main motive was profit. So main motive was profit only. So that is why whatever land revenue they were collecting, so that land revenue they were using that land revenue for purchasing the things from here, and now they are not spending anything here. They were just collecting and collecting. So what was this effect? Because they were just collecting all the things. So now the main focus was trade only and their profit only. So now peasants, they were in a very bad condition. Why the peasants, they were in very bad condition? Because they were collecting the land revenue. They were collecting, they have nothing to do with the condition of peasants, that whether they are able to give the land revenue or not. They were not worried about this thing, whether there were famines, whether there were droughts, whether there were less rain, whether the agriculture production was less or more. So they used to collect land revenue. So this has a very bad effect on the farmers. So farmers, they used to move towards the city. They used to move from the villages to the cities, and they were now discontinued the cultivation of crops. The crops, because they were not having any profit, they were even not having money to give land revenue when their crops were very less. So their basic needs were not fulfilling. So they decided to discontinue the cultivation of crops. So now the company's main profit was land revenue only, because he wants only profit. So land revenue, it was major source of income, because the income that at that time they were getting, that is only for land revenue. But now when peasants, they discontinuing their agriculture, they were leaving the villages and moving towards the cities. Now British officials, they were thinking they have to do some improvement in this system for collecting land revenue. There should be some improvement in it. There should be some improvement in it, in this land revenue collection. And then they decided, so yesterday we have also get an idea of 3 systems that they started to collect land revenue. So first system that they started to collect land revenue was permanent settlement system. So 3 systems were started. First is the permanent settlement, then the Ryotwari system, and one is the Mahalwari system. So 3 systems, they have started to collect land revenue in India. And these systems were introduced time to time. First, permanent settlement, it was introduced in 1793. Then Ryotwari system, it was introduced in 1820. Then Mahalwari system in 1822. So these 3 systems were of collecting land revenue from the peasants. And these 3 systems, they were introduced. First, permanent settlement was introduced by Lord Cornwallis. Ryotwari system was started by Alexander Reed and Thomas Munro. Then this Mahalwari system, it was introduced by Holt Mackenzie. So these 3 systems were introduced by British officials for collecting land revenue. The main motive was benefit only.
Of the lands, zamindars were given the rights to collect rents from the peasants.
Yes, Ananya, please repeat, bache. Yes, Ananya.
Ma'am, in permanent settlement, zamindars were recognized as the owner of their lands. Zamindars were given the rights to collect the rent from the peasants.
Zamindars were given the right to collect this land revenue. Okay. So that these land revenue systems, 3 land revenue systems we have discussed that the East India Company, it has introduced. So in a village there is hierarchy. First, there is one village. In one village there is peasant. Okay, First there is peasant, and above the peasant there is village headman, and above the village headman there is zamindars. Okay, village headman may be of the small area and the zamindars may be of the larger area. So these the three system that of collecting land revenue. So which system is related with the peasants? Which system? Mahalwadi system, Ryotwadi system, and the permanent one we have discussed, the permanent settlement, then Ryotwadi system, and then the Mahalwadi system. So Ryotwadi system, yes. Ryotwadi system is related with the peasants because peasants was directly paying land revenue. And which system of collecting land revenue was related with village headmen? That was Mahalwadi system. And which system was linked with the zamindar? Zamindar used to collect the taxes. That was permanent settlement. Clear? So these three systems of land revenue were connected to these. So in Ryotwadi system, peasant was directly paying the tax. In permanent settlement, zamindars used to collect the tax from the farmers and then they giving to the Britishers. In Mahalwadi system, all the measurement of the land was being taken and village headmen together, he used to pay the tax. In such type of all these three systems of land revenue, the main who was suffered a lot, that was peasant only. In permanent settlement system, the zamindars, they used to collect taxes. The land revenue was fixed. The land revenue that was used in permanent settlement, that was fixed. So land revenue was fixed in permanent settlement. In Mahalwadi system, it was revised periodically. ठीक है, it में fix नहीं था. और Ryotwadi system में भी it was also revised periodically. Revised means changed after some time. So in both these systems, only the permanent settlement system, the land revenue was fixed. So it means land revenue is fixed. So agriculture produce whatever, if the agriculture production is less, if the agricultural production is more, the land revenue is fixed. Peasants have to pay this land revenue. Zamindar have to pay fixed land revenue to British officials, to East India Company. Okay? So they have to give land revenue to East India Company. So if slowly when the agriculture, so in this system, permanent settlement system, when some farmers due to better rain, and when more farmers, there is more agriculture production, zamindars, they used to collect the land revenue from peasants, but they give to company a fix only. They were giving fix only, but they were collecting more. So yes, Ananya, in all these systems, only the peasant was suffering. So what was the difference? In this land revenue is fixed. If there is increase more land revenue, if zamindar has collected more land revenue from peasants, but to the company, they are paying a fixed land revenue only. In Mahalwadi system, it was not fixed, but it was also being paid periodically by the group of villagers. In this Ryotwari system, a single peasant was paying. So the main focus of British East India Company was profit only. So they have nothing to do with whether they are able to pay land revenue or not. So this led to some peasants, they were started discontinuing their agricultural jobs. They were moving towards cities. So there has been many changes. So now, yes, so these three systems, they are clear to you that whatever the system is, the main aim of the East India Company was profit only. They have nothing to do with the condition of farmers. Clear? So please read from their books the next topic, that is why there was demand for Indian indigo. Okay? So they were forcing the peasants to grow indigo. So we will discuss it tomorrow. So till then, take care and thank you everyone.